Your brain has been lying to you your entire life, and the terrifying part is that every lie feels exactly like the truth. Not metaphorical lies, actual, measurable, peer-reviewed glitches in human cognition that cause smart, educated people to make terrible decisions every single day. Researchers have cataloged over 180 of these cognitive biases, and the terrifying part, you cannot feel them happening. Your brain experiences them as logic. Here are 5 biases that are almost certainly distorting your reality right now, and the neuroscience that proves it. Bias number 1, confirmation bias. In 1960, psychologist Peter Wasson ran an experiment where he gave participants a simple number sequence, 2, 4, 6, and asked them to figure out the rule behind it. Participants could test their hypothesis by generating new sequences, and Wasson would tell them if they followed the rule. Nearly everyone immediately assumed the rule was even numbers, or add 2, and then only tested sequences that confirmed that hypothesis. Almost nobody tried to break their own theory. The actual rule was just any ascending numbers. But because people's brains were wired to seek confirmation rather than contradiction, they locked in on a wrong answer and felt completely confident about it. You do this every time you Google something you already believe. You're not searching for truth. You're building a legal case for a verdict you've already reached. And the scariest bias isn't the one you're consciously aware of. It's the one that disguises itself as research. Bias number 2, the Dunning-Kruger effect. In 1999, David Dunning and Justin Kruger at Cornell published a landmark study showing that the less competent someone is in a domain, the more they overestimate their own ability, because you need skill to recognize skill. The people who scored in the bottom 12th percentile on logic tests estimated they performed in the 62nd percentile. They weren't lying. Their brains genuinely couldn't perceive the gap. Think about the last time you watched a 2-week investor confidently explain macroeconomics, or someone 3 months into a diet suddenly writing nutrition advice. That's not arrogance, that's neuroscience. The dangerous part is that expertise breeds humility, meaning the more you actually know, the more uncertain you become, which means the loudest voice in the room is statistically likely to be the least qualified one. The flip side of this bias is somehow even more disturbing. Bias number 3, the sunk cost fallacy. Your prefrontal cortex is supposed to make rational decisions, but it has a silent partner, the limbic system, which is deeply emotional and absolutely hates loss. In a famous 1985 study by Hal Arkus and Catherine Bloomer, participants who paid more for a ski trip were more likely to push through a blizzard to use it, even when they admitted staying home was the smarter choice. The money was already gone, but their brains couldn't let go. You do this with jobs you hate, relationships you've outgrown, and TV shows that went bad 3 seasons ago. The brain treats time and money already spent as a reason to keep spending. Economically irrational, evolutionarily understandable, but it is costing you months, maybe years of your life right now. And while you're busy holding on to the past, your brain is also quietly rewriting it. Bias number 4, the availability heuristic. Daniel Kahneman, who literally won a Nobel Prize for this work, demonstrated that humans judge the probability of events based on how easily examples come to mind, not on actual statistical likelihood. After a plane crash makes headlines, people dramatically reduce their flying, but they'll drive to the airport without a second thought, even though driving is statistically far more dangerous. Your brain mistakes vividness for frequency. The more emotionally intense a memory is, the more real and common your brain treats it. This is why people overestimate rare, dramatic risks and completely underestimate slow, quiet ones. You're more scared of the shark than the chair, even though falling off furniture kills vastly more people per year. Your threat detection system runs on headlines, not data. But of all the biases on this list, there's one that operates at the very foundation of your identity. Bias number 5, the fundamental attribution error. In a 1967 study by Jones and Harris, participants read essays arguing for or against Fidel Castro, and then were told the writers had been assigned their position with no choice. It didn't matter. Participants still believed the essays reflected the writers' true beliefs. We are neurologically wired to attribute other people's behavior to their character while attributing our own behavior to circumstance. You cut someone off in traffic, you were late and stressed. Someone cuts you off, they're an aggressive, inconsiderate person. This one bias is responsible for an enormous portion of interpersonal conflict, failed negotiations, and broken relationships. Because you're not seeing people, you're seeing your brain's narrative about people. How do you fight this? The research points to 3 things that actually move the needle. First, slow down. System 2 thinking, the deliberate analytical mode Kahneman describes, is bias-resistant in ways that gut reactions simply aren't. Second, actively seek disconfirming evidence. Don't Google your belief. Google the strongest argument against it. Third, create distance from your own decisions. Ask yourself how you'd advise a friend facing the same choice. Studies show psychological distance dramatically improves judgment quality. Your brain is extraordinary, but it was built for a world that no longer exists, running heuristics optimized for survival on the savannah, not for navigating careers, markets, and relationships in the 21st century. Understanding these bugs doesn't make you immune, but it makes you harder to fool. If this rewired something in how you see your own thinking, subscribe. We go this deep every single week. And drop a comment. Which of these 5 biases did you catch yourself doing? Be honest. The confirmation bias one is the most popular answer, and that's probably not a coincidence.